We turn our attention now to the sweet singer of Israel that Rabbi Friedlander mentioned earlier. Debbie Friedman was this incredibly special and important person to so many people here. One of the things I admired most about Debbie, and there were so many, was her ability to reach people on so many different levels. She was a great singer. She was a great composer, but she was a great teacher of text. She brought us and the entire Jewish community into powerful healing services. She moved us. She changed us. She improved us. But she wasn't always the most serious person. See, Debbie wasn't just a famous composer. She had a wonderful and sometimes hidden, often very public, goofy side to her. She was serious about her work, but she was never, ever solemn about it. She was at home on stage here at Biennial after Biennial, in congregations, at our camps and our conferences. She was at home in this place with all these lights and cameras, but she was also at home sitting around with 6 or 8 people playing guitar and learning together. I can't think of anyone who was as authentic as Debbie Friedman. I knew her for more than 30 years. I worked with her in scores of venues and in dozens of capacities. We played a lot together. I saw her with many different groups in this country and abroad, and never once did she strike a false note. This evening, as we pay tribute to Debbie Friedman, we are honored to have with us her mother, Frida Friedman, and her sister, Cheryl Friedman. We thank you both so much for sharing Debbie with all of us. As I said, Debbie had a little bit of a goofy side. She was as silly as she was spiritual, as droll as she was dynamic, as witty as her voice was wonderful, and as hilarious as she was hopeful. One example. Years ago, I was working with Debbie at a time when she was having a particular challenge with walking. It was clear she couldn't walk onto the stage at this very large conference we were attending. She was, however, insistent that under no circumstances would she go out there in a wheelchair. So after some conversation and trying to figure out what we were going to do that evening, she looked at me and said, "Kleinman, get me rollerblades." We sort of sat there looking at her, 5 or 6 of us in the room said, "Yeah, sure." "No, get me rollerblades." 3 hours later, that evening at the concert, she rolled in with some help into the auditorium and up to the concert. The room roared with laughter, and I will always remember how Debbie beamed with delight that night. Another example of her sense of humor. Yes, she gave us Mishaberach, melodies that are at use in our congregations, but she also gave us this. Happy Thanksgiving. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Aren't you glad you're not a turkey on this Thanksgiving Day? Who can top that? Many of us, most of us, probably all of us, have felt Debbie's absence quite powerfully over this past year. But it is here at this very first biennial in many years where Debbie is not present that our loss is felt most keenly by our entire movement. But of course, we still blessedly have her songs, and thank God we have our memories. I look at pictures of Debbie at home, of her laughing with my children, I listen to her songs in the car. I desperately miss her voice. I miss her healing presence. Most of all, though, I miss her calling me on the cell phone at the office in the early morning or in the late evening, and starting that conversation, yelling into the phone, saying, "Kleinman, did you get the toupee I sent you?" Debbie, you made us laugh, and you made us cry, and you always lifted our hearts and our spirits to higher and more sacred places.
And you will love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all of your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart, and you will teach them diligently unto your children, and you will speak of them when you're sitting in your house, you're walking by the way, and when you're lying down, and when you're rising up, and when you're rising up, you will bind them for a sign upon your hand. Between your eyes, and you will write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, that you may remember all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God, unto your God, unto your
It was the summer of 1969, the summer of love. At the UAHC Quds Camp in Warwick, New York, teenagers gathered as they do every summer. But something was different in the air. A few miles away, Woodstock was taking place. A man walked on the moon while we were at Quds Camp. And a new genre of Jewish music was being birthed. Debbie Friedman was a camper at the Quds Camp that summer, as was Cantor Jeff Klepper, as was I, as were many of you in this room. The beginning of a new era, certainly in Reformed Jewish music. So remember those melodies. They're part of our hearts. They're part of our souls. Listen to the music of any Reformed congregation's worship service, and today even conservative and Orthodox congregations. Listen to the music at any of our camps or religious schools or nifty conventions. Debbie's voice is there. Look at the Jewish texts that she wrote that show up in Mishkan Tefillah, in every songbook we know, even on greeting cards. Debbie's voice is there. Think of how Debbie helped us rediscover the power of prayer for healing. Her melody from Misha Berach, a tradition renewed, and for Reform congregations, a tradition was born. Each and every time, we pray for the healing of those we love with this melody. Debbie's voice is there. Debbie Friedman taught us as American Jews how to sing our souls, not to have someone sing to us, not to have someone talk about our souls, but for us to express the deepest feelings of our souls. And she did it in remarkably creative Jewish ways. She combined Hebrew and English in a single song. She integrated subtle values into every text. She gave Jewish women a musical voice in a field long dominated by men. Each and every Debbie Friedman song had a kernel of Jewish tradition and a great deal of personal values and Jewish spirituality. And Debbie taught us how to dance. Can any of you remember a time in a Reform congregation that Reformed Jews would get up and dance through the aisles? I've been going to Biennials for many years, but it wasn't until Debbie's Miriam song that we saw dancing in the aisles at UAHC convention. During this convention, we will sing many, many Debbie Friedman songs. Her voice will be with us throughout the next 4 days. But today, we celebrate Debbie's life. Debbie understood that the Jewish journey begins at birth. And we have video, I'm told. So we're going to go to the video, and then we will celebrate another part of Debbie's contribution to us. Maestro. Okay. No video. Okay. Well, never mind. I feel like Rosanna Dana right now. All right, so I'm going back. What would Debbie do in a moment like this? Debbie would have fun. She would be silly.
That was DSM's.
And she would sing. Hanukkah is next week. We need a song for Hanukkah. Please take a look at the screens, and hopefully the words will show up as we sing our Hanukkah song.
Hi, no big stuff I cannot tell you. I'm sitting in this blender turning brown. I've made friends with the onions and the flour, and the cook is scouting oil in town. I sit here wondering what will come of me. I can't be eaten looking as I do. I need someone to take me out and cook me, or I'll really end up in a I am a latke. I'm a latke. I am waiting for Hanukkah to come. Every holiday has food so special. I'd like to have that same attention too. I do not want to spend life in this blender, wondering what I'm supposed to do. Matzah and karoset are for Pesach, chopped liver and challah for Shabbat. Linses on Shavuos are delicious, and gefilte fish no holidays without. I am a latke, I'm a latke, and I'm waiting for Hanukkah to come. I am a latke, I'm a latke, and I am waiting for Hanukkah to come. It's important that I have an understanding of what it is that I'm supposed to do. Very important to know that. You see, there are many that are homeless, with no jobs, no clothes, and very little food. So at Hanukkah, I beg you to remember